What's up, guys? I want to do a tier list of meta ninjas today. I just put stuff randomly in here. No thought, nope. Go through one by one quickly. So, first tier. You know what? We'll start from the bottom. C. Uh, this is a Tachi Kimono. It's not very good. Gives your opponent chakra, which is kind of bad for a lot of meta ninjas. Um, they want chakra. Yeah, he's not great. My boy, she will be good when Danzo Izanagi gets his BT. She gives him 0 chakra cost, and she also gives chakra, which is pretty cool, and her dodge mechanic is broken, but for the most part, she's fairly useless. Roshiedo, good on Jin teams, but the barrier is mostly defensive. He's not bad. He's just out of meta. Asmoon Blade, free damage buff, the only real unit to give chakra at the start of turn, which is very important. He's still good, but he's nothing crazy. You throw him on teams that need chakra. Aikamono, he's kind of bad. He is limited by the fact that there's a lot of limiting factors. He's single target. His mystery is extremely good. You can use it twice turn 2, but if the enemy has a Kisame, which is like on every team, the moment he hits the Kisame, Kisame steals his chakra and he can't use his mystery twice. Round 2. And his only damage comes from his mystery. And his chase, but it's again single target. Not very good. Interesting ninja. He has interesting support effects. Maybe use him like P3 and not worry about his damage just so your units can't die, but eh. Killer B, he's good. Probably has a P1. Scales every turn, but he's just outclassed by better ninjas this meta. Same with Mr. Choji here. He's really good. Like one of the best free-to-play ninjas in the game. You just, if you can't, control him or ignite him, he's going to scale out of control and stomp you to death. Datara, mostly bad 1v1. If you try and P1 him, you will get controlled because he's not immune. But in decisive bonds, people tend to ignore him or don't notice him, and then you get ignites across the whole field, and he just hits everyone at once and insta kills them. So that's pretty fun. He's good. He's just not great. He's B tier. Hiruzen, he's just there to give you a buff for blitz teams. Solid, same like Osmo Windblade placement here. He does his job well. Kazekage Gara, full BT. This assumes full BT if they have it, by the way. He's kind of out of flavor. He never dies, but he doesn't really do much other than sit there and never die. He buffs win teams, woo. He's alright. Kushina Christmas, same dealio. Like, she doesn't do anything except buff units. She gives a crit buff, though, and attack when they use mystery based on their chakra cost, so she can scale your P1's crit percent, which is really good. So if you don't crit, you don't deal damage. But not great. I think Madara Edo Tensei is good. Buffs are kind of falling out of meta because it's too easy to remove them with Mr. Kakasu existing on every fucking team, as he should be. But so he removes shields and buffs, and then he makes it so you can't gain chakra. So he kind of shuts down a lot of mechanics, and he steals chakra too. He's not like a great. I would see like a P2, P3. He's not a great P1. He doesn't hit very hard, but his mechanics are very support esque. He's decent. Obito, yeah, BT1, right? Like, he's really bad. His mystery does 0 damage. You have to run him. The only team I've ever been able to run him on was enabled by Swimsuit Conan, where you can see where she is. Because he can use his standard twice. His standard's good, and his chase is good. Every other mechanic about him is trash, except for, like, the one where he can't die. I think I've won one fight where in like arena where he couldn't die and ended up like ignite killing my opponent at the end of the turn. It was just dumb. Shisui Susano, he's kind of trash. He don't hit nothing in his kit hits hard. His mystery doesn't hit hard. Standard doesn't hit hard. He needs a BT too. He needs fucking BT. All right, Hashi living version. He's great. Barrier buffs people. He steals chakra, mobilizes the backline where most immune units aren't. +1 cooldown. He's a really good ninja, and we got him for free. Well, if you were around. Hashi New Year, also phenomenal ninja. +1 chases to himself and another unit. He gives like a caps chakra cost with his mystery, mobilizes for 2 turns, suppresses immunity on 2 targets. He does 16 combo with his mystery. He's very good P2. Yeah, give him a try. We got him for free. And then one of the hardest units to get, the Edo version. He's good. He's kind of weak. He doesn't really do much. He's probably pretty much there to like control P1's chakra and give cooldown, but he only gives +1. And there's units that are better at giving +1 more consistently. But stealing chakra is always very strong. Speaking of stealing chakra, a ninja that's almost never used, but here's a devastating combo. If you use a Beaky P2 with either Madara or Minato with barrier, where they can't gain chakra, you can like pick their healer or maybe even their P1 if you think your control stats enough, and you can shut their P1 down or whatever you want for 2 turns, because you have to be above a certain threshold in chakra to clear his debuff. And they can't gain chakra turn 1, so it's pretty oppressive. He's pretty good. He's support and control's kind of out of flavor. Well, control that you have to use control stat for. We'll get to control you don't need control stat for later. Okay. So I should have literally put Summer Kurenai, Beaky, and Edo Itachi in a line because they're all the same type of unit. Now I think that he is a worse version of Special K, but he's good. He's useful. You can use him and shut people down. There's not much to say. Like, he's a good unit. He's a good P2, P3, mostly P2. Summer Kakashi, great free-to-play option. For P1, he's going to carry you in Arena. He's much stronger in Arena than he is anywhere else. He seems to hit way weaker. Like, I've used him P1 at my power, and he seems to not do great. But he's still really good. Suppress super armor, interrupt, a high damage buff. He's very versatile. The only downside to him is he's extremely squishy. Kushina used to be god tier. Now she's really fucking easy to shut down. Every unit in the game suppresses immunity plus immobile now. Not really, but it's very easy to shut her down. One of the most prominent ninjas on every team is this boy here. So great into Ramada, and he will turn her into nothing. You will become useless. No one's clearing it. People don't usually run her with a healer because they think she'll stand there and live forever. She won't. She's not even that tanky, honestly. Not compared to some ninjas. Living Madara, he's pretty trash, but there's a lot of good Konoha unit P1s that have come out, and he gives % life when they chase, and that's extremely strong. If you're facing an even opponent and they can't ignite you, and you don't have a healer, like a healer like Karen doesn't heal like 10% life per fucking heal. It's more like 6 or 8. I don't know what the hell it is. And if you can just get your guys chasing every turn, they're healing like 20% life per turn. That's strong as fuck. It's like he's a healer. Yeah. I think I'm going to use him when Sage Naruto gets his fucking BT. Ronin, it's Ronin. If you're stronger than your opponent and you want to stomp him out, stomp him out. But for the most part, he's not immune to debuffs. He's incredibly easy to control and prevent from doing anything for the rest of the match. So he's good. He's not great. Too many counters. I would honestly rate her lower, but so many people use her. I don't know. To me, she's trash. I've never seen anybody win a game because Tsunade was on their team unless they were getting blitzed. And, like, there are better units now for getting blitzed. Like Rin. You have to know what to do. Like, it's kind of hard to use her. I've seen people make lots of mistakes using her, not knowing when to revive. Like, you have to wait till the last possible minute after everybody else on the team's standards are done, but before the next round starts, hit the fucking button, which people fuck up. She's just not that great, but she's whatever. Zetsu, full BT, of course, which is very hard to get unless you have an abundant amount of green vials. Yeah. Good luck if you get him, but he's really strong. Creates a wall of fucking clones that are hard to kill And then if you run him with Conan, he can create even more and then just clone the entire enemy team and just shit on you, and it becomes overwhelming. But he's more like a meme. He's not actually very strong. He just can be, depending on what your opponent's units are. Already really touched on Special K. She's really good. Reflects debuffs, immobile for 2 turns, suppress immunity. She sleeps people. She's strong. She's very strong. Terrific P2. Tsunai Swimsuit's kind of trash. Her heal is really inconsistent. It only removes 1 debuff, but it does give level 2 immunity, which means that you can't suppress immunity on whoever she hits, and she usually heals herself plus someone else. And I've watched like my P1 be the only one with debuffs and her not heal it, and it's infuriating. I don't know if she's bugged, but she's trash. But she's still, I don't know, she's not trash. It's hard to explain. She's gonna have more uses later on with more female units because she gives female units an extra standard, which is useful. Ashra, one of the best supports in the game, +1 chase every turn starting at turn 2. His mechanic where you're getting your shit kicked in and you gain resistant ninjutsu is useful. There are people hammering. I wonder if that's picked up. Yeah. He's pretty good. Not a great P1. His mystery hits were like no damage. But his chase hits really hard. His standard's okay. It lags the game. It's great. Yeah, whatever. Enough said. Earthgrudge Fear has been meta forever. He's very hard to counter. You give him chakra. He standards your team down into the ground. Yeah, not much to say. He's really strong. Good luck dealing with him. He gets tanky as he gains chakra. You have to steal his chakra. Not every team is available to do that. Karantaka, probably the best healer in the game. I'm not putting her in God tier though. I don't know. She's pretty easy to like. You see a Karantaka on a team, it's like I'm gonna focus her down. It's like pretty easy to figure that out. She has no real defensive options. She just heals. And she only heals contingent on mysteries. So if you're fighting like a standard spam team, she'll heal once. And then that's it. They don't have to use their standards. I mean their mysteries, sorry. Mito, the classic. His barrier, it's mostly considering the barrier. The barrier is broken and oppressive. Makes you take half damage. Makes you not gain chakra. It's anti-fun unit. He dodges standards all the time and feebles. But he doesn't really deal damage. Even when he starts scaling turns in, he doesn't hit that hard. So like if you're running someone runs Minato, just run fucking Rin because his single target damage is not that good. It's not bad. It's probably slightly above average, but he can't. If you're running Rin, he's never gonna kill their backline, and then it's just gonna be him versus 4 fucking people, and it's just not gonna happen. Nagato is the #1 unit to shut down P1s in the game. Anybody that uses mysteries. If you want to know how to counter Madara TTJ, just fucking mystery him with Nagato, and then follow up with like plus mystery cooldown, and that Madara will not do anything. He's immune to Nin, which is like really, 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 really common type on a lot of meta teams right now. That's not too useful. You basically just want a mystery with him turn 1 and stop them from using their P1 for like 2 turns, which is like a significant advantage. Obito, I'll put him in S because he is extremely strong from like the position 2 or 3, because if you're fighting a similar strength opponent, your P1 probably can dumpster their backline, but you might be having a hard time with crit damage rolls or crit trance rolls, so you can't really beat the P1. But if you just yeet their P1 after you killed their backline, you win the fight instantly. And he steals chakra and he removes buffs, but nothing he does damage. So yeah, be careful of that. Nothing he does at all does damage. He's horrible damage. Probably one of the worst damaging units in the game. But completely removing a unit from the battle could cause you to win instantly. Toby, he's good. He's really good. Really good support Konoha. He also has irremovable tag for 2 turns, which is incredibly good debuff for beating stronger opponents than you. Not much to say here. He can't really be Ram P1 because units like Summer Kurenai and Sasuke Rene exist, and he hits them and gets chaos for the rest of the fucking match. That's, yeah, always fun. but he's really good. All right, God tier. So, and this is in no particular order. These are all incredibly good units, with various different reasons why. So, Great Ninja Ramada is the most versatile unit in the fucking game. He has everything. He has a buff. He can give you super armor, although I don't think the super armor is very good because it's conditional on having shield. He has one of the strongest hitting standards in the game, and then things like Great Ninja Warrior hits the entire fucking vertical row, which is not a thing. Thank you, China. He gives shield, which is really strong. His mystery doesn't hit that hard, but it steals chakra, which is very good against a lot of teams. He's amazing. He's a phenomenal P2, P3, P1, whatever, wherever you want to fucking put him. Probably not P4. I have some. You don't want him to. He's pretty squish. But he also, oh yeah, well I forgot to say, he has the best dodge mechanic in the game. He has like a 80% chance or a 90% chance to dodge the first anything targeted at him, and then it's like 20% for everything else. And then a high chance of dodging chases, which is the most OP mechanic in the game. Because you can't really deal with units without doing chase damage. There's no single target, really. But yeah, he's phenomenal. Indra, the fucking Sharingan debuff anxiety is 10% max life every time they take an action. There's a lot of things that don't seem like actions that are. Um, it interrupts, which is not that great because of the way this game works. His second mystery is not that great. It does pretty okay damage. Nothing. It's probably like average damage for like a low target mystery, and it reduces defense and res by 8%, which is nothing bad. But his standard and his chase hits extremely hard. He can give himself super armor, which is not too good. But if you haven't taken an action yet, he will dodge the first two hits aimed at him. So he's got really good dodge mechanic if you just wait before he goes. He's like a 30 combo enabler, which is insane. 30 combos, a lot of 30 combos are very, very strong. He has that mechanic where before he goes, he hits the unit in front of him or any unit suffering from Ignite for like massive, unmissable damage. It's unmissable damage. He also puts irremovable ignition on people. So let's just say for fun, healing cancer comes back. Well, if you're pay to win and you have Indra, you don't fucking care about healing cancer because he has irremovable ignition everywhere in his fucking kit. They will never heal again. And that it's like hard to like it's sometimes hard to notice how fucking strong that is. But like literally you could be fighting like someone with Karen and he just gets the 30 combo off. Karen is now useless. She's doing nothing on that team. Besides her nice poison, which I didn't really talk about her mystery, the slow mystery. But slow doesn't affect immune, so it's in and out. I put Kimmy in God because he counters so many things. He counters barriers on his own, and then he buffs damage to absurd levels. Like, here, you want to have a strong team? Here, I'll give you two team templates. Okay? So you do any position 1 plus Great Ninja War Madara and Kimmy. Like, Kimmy P2, Great Ninja War Madara P3. Now you have a strong team. Literally. That's how easy it is. They're that strong. They carry that fucking hard, and they're that versatile. Now he is kind of losing favor because Rin is a thing now, and mysteries are doing damage mostly by mysteries is dying out. Like try Kimmy bombing people right now. You're not Kimmy bombing people. It's not gonna happen. His Kimmy bombing didn't really work that well anyways in like a 1v1 situation because there's dodge mechanics and shit. But, he adds cooldown to people, which is insane. Like if you're fighting someone Sasuke P1 and you give +1 cooldown or +2 cooldown to him, he's no mystery for 2 fucking turns. You're gonna win. Like you can win in 3 turns against an even opponent that isn't mysterying at all. Yeah, he's really good. Kisame, I don't think he's a very good P1. If you run him P1, make sure you run him with Sugetsu because of the stupid 30% chance to dodge everything mechanic. You'll like high roll RNG into victories, but like I said, Rin exists, and 99% of his damage is from his mystery pretty much, and everything else he does, like the chase hits decently hard. It's not that good, and then the standard doesn't hit hard at all. He's a terrific P2, P3, giving an plus 20 chakra cost, was it 2 turns, to P1s is insanely good. It shuts down so many people where you might have had like an advantage. Like if you're slower than them and you know they're gonna mystery turn next turn, you just Kisame that fucking P1, and they ain't mysterying unless their chakra cost is 0. All right, Conan. She's the best support unit for Akatsuki units in the game. Hell, she's the best support unit for chases in the game because she has a fucking 5-person 5 combo chase that's unmissable, which means if you hit the 15 combo, I think it is for her, is it 10? She will like push it up to around 30 and give you an instant 30 combo. And that's really good because it's very hard to hit 30 combo with every fucking unit having dodge chases. All right, the strongest unit in the game. He's not. He's very easy to counter. People just are intimidated by him, but he's extremely strong. So let's go over why. So the way what he does is he has a standard that if you get the full combo effect where he gets the knockdown, he gets -1 cooldown. So he can use his mystery every turn because of that. The mystery suppresses immunity on like 12 targets. It hits pretty fucking hard. And yeah, just suppressing immunity on mass targets is insane. When he mysteries, he gets like a 50% chance to dodge anything for the rest of the turn. Although I can't. When I read that, I still don't believe it's 50%. My Madara don't dodge shit. His chase is one of the hardest hitting, if not the hardest hitting chases in the game. The 30 combo chase is not bad. It does minus defense and res. He's a really terrific unit. He self scales. He has undodgeable. He's great, but here it's very easy to shut him down. You just give plus. You can run like Sasuke with fear, and he can no longer get extra standards. You can run super armor because he needs to constantly get standards for resets because he can't. It isn't like he uses his standard and then instantly gets the reset. He has to get the full combo, and depending on what happens, it might not happen. It's a fixed chance to get the reduction. But yeah, run Nagato, run Sasuke. Run anybody that gives plus cooldown, Hashi Ito, like anyone like that, and you will shut him down. No, Kisame, there you go. Run Kisame P2 and Kisame the fucking Madara immediately. He will not be using Meteor turn 1. And Madara that doesn't Meteor every turn doesn't do fucking anything. He's largely ignorable. He won't be Meteoring turn 2 either. He has to get chakra, and most teams don't have a way to feed him chakra. He's hilariously dependent on the main giving him combos also. Like he needs to get the full chase combo to get extra standards to be able to get his resets. Otherwise he doesn't do anything. So he's really strong, but he's not broken and he can be countered pretty easily. Most top end players don't really even run him in a P1 position anymore because getting fucking RNG'd is really bad. It feels like shit. Like, and everybody that's ever used him has had a game where he standarded 3 fucking times and he didn't get the reset once, and they lost because of that because you couldn't get the meteor off. All right, I think Kakasu AC is my favorite fucking character in the game. I run him P1. Most people would say don't run him P1. But look, when you fucking run him plus her and you get 2 standards and you blind their entire fucking team, you pretty much win from there. His mystery hits ridiculously hard. It removes shields and buffs, which is a nice plus. And then his standards hit even harder. And then his chase hits extremely hard. And yeah, he ain't going to die P1 and res your team, but you know what? Run him P3. Run him P2. He'll eventually die, and then he'll be there constantly resing. If you're running him in like a group environment, like Great Ninja War or DB, yeah, you should probably not run him P1. You want to run him P3, P4. Some other position that he's going to die because the consistent reses he provides is really hard for people to overcome. All right, brand new free-to-play ninja, Rin. Broken. Not really. It's not broken. Broken makes it seem like she's doing something unbeatable. No, she's just countering bullshit. She's countering mystery damage. Mystery spam has been the meta forever. Now we have to think about different ways to deal damage. On top of that, she makes it so Konoha units can't die from chases, but that usually doesn't matter too much because once the chase usually happens at the start of the round, so if you killed them with chase damage, they're probably not gonna fucking die. Or they're gonna fucking die to standard damage. All right, brand new boy, Sage Kabuto BT, very strong. Run him P1, run suppression of immunity with undodgeable. Run the one where he removes debuffs from everyone at the start of turns. He's not immune to debuffs. He gives himself immune when he uses his mystery. That's his only weakness. And then he has a really cool mechanic. That's going to be the reason why Six Paths Naruto is good. Is every time someone mysteries, he gets one extra standard attack. And standard hits a row, and the person that he procs the combo on, that he pops up, and I don't think it always has to be where he procs the combo, gets +1 mystery cooldown. So he can fucking sit there and hit your P1 like 4 times in round 1, and then you will never fucking mystery. Like it's really strong. He also scales off people dying, and he also, whenever someone on your team is dead, which is another reason to run him like P1, but you can run him P2, P3, but is that he will res them at like 40% health, so it's a pretty good res. Yeah, he's pretty fucking strong. And then he has a chase that does a mobile, which is always nice, and minus speed, which is whatever. All right, this is Sasuke. Don't run him P1. Please stop running him P1. He is the best support ninja in the fucking game because he counters things because his mechanic is broken. Literally, all you do is run him P3 or P2, and with either fear or chaos, and like literally watch and like look at all these meta ninjas. Not immune to debuffs, not immune to debuffs, not immune to debuffs, not immune, not immune. He's immune, but you can use fear against him. He's immune, not immune, not immune. He reflects, but guess what? Yeah, don't worry about that. He's immune. Okay? So the vast majority of things I ranked God tier are here, even here. He's immune, not immune, 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 not immune. Like seriously, the vast majority of like really good fucking strong units in the meta right now are not immune to debuffs. So you know what happens? You fucking run Sasuke. They hit your Sasuke. They get chaos. You steal their chakra, which stealing chakra is extremely strong, and so is chaos. And they're chaosed into the next turn, which is a great mechanic. Love that mechanic. And then for fear, when this bitch becomes meta, you're gonna want fear because his standards hit extremely strong. Supposedly, I don't know. We don't know. We're not. I'm not in China playing. But from what it looks like, yeah. Okay, so Shisui, extremely good unit. He suppresses super armor on standard. His mystery hits like nothing, but his chase is all his chase hits hard. His standard hits extremely hard. He's a self-sufficient unit, meaning he doesn't need anybody else to chase him. If you run the Y+1 chase, he gets -2 cooldown when he procs it, and he can proc it off of his fucking standard, which has an extremely high chance to repulse. So yeah, he's really good. I've used him a bunch of times and slaughtered people with him. He doesn't have very many counters, but he also and he also self-scales, and then he reflects debuffs. There's like a lot of good things about him. It's just that he's not as oppressive as I'd want him to be. He doesn't do anything that shuts people down. He's just consistent. But consistency a lot of times will win against RNG. And like most of his kit is undodgeable. His standard and his mystery are undodgeable. So if you're fighting dodge units, he will dunk them. Okay, so I put him in here even though his BT isn't out to talk about his BT because he will be the meta ninja. He will be fucking everywhere. He has two versions of the mystery. One does splash damage to 2 radius cells away, or one that hits I think 9 targets. So his mystery damage is whatever. I'm pretty sure he can get a reset every turn off of his standards. It's like a chance to proc, just like Madara, and he gets extra standards per mystery the enemy uses. So he's like Sage Kabuto. So if you use a mystery, you're getting hit by him an additional time, and his standard hits fucking hard. He does pure nin with his standard though, so he can be countered by anybody that absorbs nin, which there aren't too many of that are especially that are meta. It's like Obito, I think Edo Tenshin, Madara, and Nagato. They're not going to be P1s shitting on you. They're just going to not die, and then you're going to take longer to kill. Then he has a dodge mechanic. This is where he's really pretty fucking strong too. He can choose to have like a 50% chance to dodge standards like Minato, or a 75% chance to dodge chases. And in addition to always dodging, or very likely to dodge the first anything aimed at him. So he will be incredibly hard to pin down. And he's immune to debuffs. So he has dodge plus immune, which is always strong. And he self-scales. So every time he uses a standard, he self-scales. So his kit's fucking overloaded to the brim. So counters to him are things like... Probably Fierce Sasuke is probably one of the only counters, but it's like the most apparent one, because it will affect him through immune. and he's gonna hit the whole fucking team with his mystery or with his standards, and that will be a big way to shut him down. But he's still incredibly strong, even if he doesn't get like 2 or 3 standards a turn. He's just phenomenal. And then Sugetsu's insane. +1 mystery on an unmissable mystery. Like I said, you're fighting. How many of these have like you fight him, P1, not him. You won't be P1, not you. Madara, if he has bad RNG. Kakasu doesn't know. You have to be probably not. Sage Kabuto's another one. Sasuke, not you. Not you. So some of them. Ashura, Minato, no. Obito, yes. Tobirama, yes. So he can prevent an entire, like all of these units from using their mystery turn 2, which can win you the fucking fight alone. And he also gives evasion. He dodges chases all the fucking time. His single target hits really hard. His chase hits really hard. Um, he reduces, I think, defense and res when he does standards. And then, yeah, he gives shields and buffs to Katsuki. He's extremely good. Um, yeah, here you go. Here's tier list. Let me know what you agree or disagree with, I guess.